The sun rose lazily over the grand halls of Lagos State University, casting a golden hue over the sprawling campus. It was a day of celebration, a day of triumph, a day that marked the end of one journey and the beginning of another. Graduation day. Laughter and cheers filled the air as students, dressed in flowing black gowns, posed for pictures, their hands clutching well-earned certificates. Parents beamed with pride, some crying, some ululating, while others simply stood in awe of their children's achievements. In the midst of it all stood Chioma, a strikingly beautiful young woman with sharp, intelligent eyes. She had done what many thought impossible, graduated with a first-class degree in business administration. Chioma the genius, one of her classmates teased, giving her a playful nudge. "Abeg, forget that one," she laughed, but deep inside, she was proud. She had sacrificed so much, late nights, countless study sessions, and most importantly, she had stayed true to her mother's one rule: never let campus love distract you. For years, Chioma had watched girls around her fall in love, get heartbroken, or worse, become victims of deceitful men who left them stranded after making fake promises. She refused to be part of that cycle. She had a future to build. But today, as she stood among her peers, something felt different. A quiet voice inside her whispered, "You're done with school now. What next? Is it time to start thinking about love?" Two men. Two paths. One decision. As if on cue, two men approached her from opposite directions, Eric and Ao. Eric, the tall, handsome, and confident businessman, walked with a relaxed but powerful stride. His designer agbada swayed as he approached, his polished shoes clicking against the pavement. "Chioma, my queen, today is your day," he said, extending a bouquet of red roses. "Congratulations on your success. I always knew you were special." Chioma smiled politely, taking the flowers, but before she could respond, another familiar voice interrupted. "Chioma, you made us proud," said Ao, the departmental president and the most intelligent student in their faculty. Unlike Eric, Ao was simple. He wore a neatly ironed shirt, his books tucked under his arm. He had loved Chioma from afar, not with the extravagance of a rich man, but with the admiration of someone who respected her intellect. Ao had made his intentions known to her before, but Chioma had never given him a clear answer. "Ao, thank you," she said, genuinely appreciating his words. Eric smirked, his gaze shifting between Chioma and Ao. "Oh, Mr. Bookworm, you too want to claim Chioma today," he mocked. Ao adjusted his glasses. "It's not about claiming her, Eric. Love is not a game of possessions." Chioma felt the tension rising. It wasn't the first time they had subtly clashed over her. Eric was the definition of success, rich, powerful, connected. Ao, on the other hand, was brilliant but financially struggling. Her friends had always told her, "You can't eat intelligence. Marry wisely." But her mother had also warned her, not all that glitters is gold. Now, the choice was hers. The pressure begins. That evening, Chioma sat in her room, her graduation cap resting on her table. She replayed the events of the day in her mind. Her friends, overexcited from the celebrations, had called her earlier. "Chioma, you know you can't still be single now. It's time to settle down. Eric has been chasing you for 4 years. Why are you still hesitating? Asterisk. You and Ao? Please. Do you want to suffer? Eric can take care of you." The words sank deep. They weren't wrong. Ao was an amazing man, but he was struggling. He had even confided in her that he planned to relocate to Ekiti to start a small planting farm since job opportunities were scarce. Eric, on the other hand, owned real estate companies in Lagos, drove the latest cars, and had powerful connections. "I have waited for you long enough, Chioma," Eric had told her a few weeks ago. "I don't want to pressure you, but my offer still stands." Chioma let out a deep sigh. Could she afford to gamble with love? She picked up her phone, her fingers trembling as she typed a message to Eric. "Let's talk tomorrow." 2 days to Valentine's Day. Eric received Chioma's message while sipping champagne in his penthouse. A victorious smirk curled on his lips. He had waited 4 years for this moment, and now, he could feel it. Chioma was finally considering him. Immediately, he began making arrangements for the grandest proposal Lagos had ever seen. He contacted his business partners, family, and top event planners. On February 14th, Chioma will be mine. At the same time, Eo sat in his small apartment, staring at his books but unable to focus. He had overheard Chioma's friends mocking him earlier that day. What does Eo have? Pain twisted inside him. He had always known the odds were against him, but he had hoped Chioma saw beyond material things. For the first time in a long time, he felt truly defeated. 2 days later, Lagos buzzed with Valentine's excitement. Restaurants were fully booked, and red balloons decorated every corner of the city. Inside a beautifully decorated event hall, Eric stood in a tailored suit, his heart pounding with excitement. The hall was packed with well-dressed guests, friends, family, and even business associates. Then she walked in. Chioma looked breathtaking in her red gown, her heart racing as she realized the weight of this moment. A camera crew captured everything as Eric took her hand, got down on one knee, and pulled out a diamond ring. "Chioma, my love, I have waited for this day for years. Will you make me the happiest man alive and be my wife?" The crowd held their breath. Cameras flashed. Her friends beamed with excitement. And then, she nodded. Cheers erupted. Eric slid the ring onto her finger as fireworks exploded outside. At that moment, Chioma believed she had made the right choice. But what she didn't know was that this was the beginning of her nightmare. Chioma twirled the diamond ring on her finger, its brilliance shimmering under the light. The engagement had been the talk of the town. Every social media platform was flooded with pictures and videos of the extravagant proposal. "Chioma, you're now the future Mrs. Eric," her friends gushed. She should have been happy. This was everything she had been told to desire. A rich, powerful man. A secure future. Yet, something gnawed at her spirit. Was this truly love, or had she just made a choice based on security? Her mother's voice echoed in her mind, "Chioma, be careful. Money is good, but character is better." Shrugging off the unease, she focused on preparing for her traditional wedding. In 2 months, she would be officially Mrs. Eric Okachukwu. Meanwhile, far away in Ekiti, Eo stood on a small plot of farmland, the soil rich and fertile. He had made his decision. He would leave Lagos behind. "No use waiting for a love that was never mine," he muttered as he marked where his first set of planting seedlings would be planted. His phone buzzed with a message from an oil company in Lagos, Total Energies. "We have reviewed your application and would like to invite you for an offshore position." Eo's eyes widened. God works in mysterious ways. With one deep breath, he looked towards the horizon. His life was about to change. A wife's nightmare begins. Back in Lagos, married life started beautifully. Chioma and Eric traveled to Dubai for their honeymoon, staying in the most luxurious hotels. But soon after their return, things changed. Eric became distant. He would disappear for nights, his phone constantly buzzing with unknown numbers. One night, as Chioma lay in bed, her stomach heavy with the weight of new life growing inside her, she heard Eric whispering on the phone. "What do you mean the sacrifice is not complete?" Her heart froze. Eric stormed out of the house the next morning, but Chioma couldn't ignore her suspicions. She began investigating, speaking to old acquaintances who had known Eric before he became rich. What she discovered shattered her world. Eric was not just a businessman, he was deeply involved in an occult group. His wealth, his success, his entire empire was built on blood sacrifices. Her pregnancy became a ticking time bomb. When she confronted Eric, his usual charming mask slipped. "Chioma, you don't need to know everything. Just enjoy the good life I give you." Fear gripped her heart. "What happens when our baby is born? Will it be part of your rituals too?" Eric's silence was the only answer she needed. The day of delivery arrived in the most unexpected way. Chioma collapsed in pain, rushed to the best hospital in Lagos. Her mother, sensing something was deeply wrong, dropped to her knees in prayer. Meanwhile, Eric, in a state of panic, rushed to his occult leader. "Mike, what's happening? This is not what we agreed on." Mike's cold stare sent shivers down his spine. "Eric, you knew there would be a price. Your time is up. Choose your wife and child, or your sanity." Reality hit him like thunder. If he didn't allow the sacrifice, he would become a madman, roaming the streets of Lagos. A moment of regret. A moment of realization. What have I done? Back at the hospital, the doctors emerged with devastating news. "We lost the baby, and your wife is in critical condition." Her mother's wails filled the hospital hall. Eric, overwhelmed by guilt and fear, ran straight into the night. Far away on an offshore oil rig, Ao scrolled through his phone and froze. News of Chioma's tragedy was everywhere. He could have been the one for her. But now it was too late. Who was to blame, my humbled audience? Chioma? Her friends? Or was it simply the price of choosing the wrong love? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Please do us well to subscribe, like, and share this video. And for more thrilling stories. And don't forget to turn on your post notifications.